Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're probably going to be doing my most potentially unhinged deck so far. Who knows? Maybe you guys will love this, maybe not. This one here is thank you to, all of our members and everything like that. I'm going to release this video to everyone, but our members are the ones supporting the channel and everything, so I just want to give a huge shout out to all of those guys. If you want to know how to become a member, it's pretty simple. You just go onto YouTube. Surprisingly, head on over to my channel and then go to membership, and it's going to bring this up. It's going to show you something slightly different to this, but this is all of our current, exclusive member videos. I just have extra bonus content that I release out to our members, and they get, videos like this one early. But this is going to be a pretty unhinged deck, so I'm going to be very interested to hear what you guys think about it. Keep in mind that this is currently a $100 US limit. However, the commander currently is sitting at $15.37. That's because it is one of the new commanders coming from Jumpstart 2025. I don't know if he's going to drop down. I don't know if he's going to get more expensive. I don't exactly know, because it could go either way, really. They've just come out, but then also his ability is absolutely bonkers. So it could be like, how we've got some Jumpstart previous ones, like, Bruvac, for example, are absolutely very expensive. All of those kinds of commanders that came out, or just really strong cards that come out in Jumpstart, tend to sit on the more expensive side sometimes. So this is based around Dionysus, Elvish Archdruid, and he's going to grant all of your elves a special ability, which is whenever they become tapped during your turn, you get to untap it, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and this ability triggers only once each turn. So keep in mind that a couple different things. One, if Dionysus is on the battlefield, then gets removed and then comes back, it is technically going to reset, right? So the ability, it's kind of like how Nardu, people would flicker Nardu kind of thing. You could flicker Dionysus and technically it would work. There's not all that much flicker stuff within green, but we haven't included any of that anyway, because I built instead the dumbest deck you could potentially think of. So this deck is going to be built around vehicles, because Dionysus technically works with vehicles. You can use your vehicles to tap creatures, then they will untap, and then those creatures, one, get buffed up with a +1/+1 counter, and two, can then attack. So you can attack with your vehicles and the creatures that are crewing them at the same time. Now, I heard that, the way I think about it is that the elves are getting onto the vehicles, putting the foot down onto the accelerator, shoving a brick under there, sending it in, and then they're jumping out, and then they're ready to attack as well. So you've got all these vehicles going thrown at people, but then also your elves are chasing after them to try and attack as well. Anyway, that's the way I could kind of think about it. The other thing is that it does technically, even if you don't go and attack with your elves, it is going to protect your mana dorks. And then you can use your mana dorks on other people's turns. You could use them, on not to attack. So that way they're kept safe. There's lots of different ways that this is going to be very beneficial, because now your, more fragile elves don't need to go and attack. And you can even attack with your elf tokens, because this is not non-token elves either. So, you can use your elf tokens, tap them down, get them all +1. So now you've got, 2/2 minimum elves, and then send them at people. All right, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of artifacts within here. We've got, first of all, lots of vehicles, whether you're looking at, Brotherhood Vertibird, which is one of my favorites. Essica's Chariot is going to be huge here. You've got Midnight Crusader Shuttle, which I think is great. It's kind of like a sneaky strong one, I think. Make people sacrifice things or steal their creatures, which is cool. And then we've got Recon Craft Theta. I love this one as well, because of the fact that it proliferates when it attacks. So now it's going to turn all those +1/+1s into, +2/+2 now. Now, you're probably questioning a couple ones. First of all, Maskwood Nexus. Why would I have this in here? It's going to turn all of your vehicles into elves. You get that? All of your vehicles, once you turn your vehicles into creatures, they are then going to be elf creatures. So now when you attack with your vehicles, they are going to get the whole get +1 and untap thing as well. Freaking hilarious, because now you just imagine like your vehicle's getting little elf ears or something. Look, okay, I don't know if I'm not had enough sleep from the kids or what, but I just found that hilarious. So we've got Staff of Domination here because we can use it to untap our creatures, so we can untap our mana dorks, you know, and then just infinite combos essentially to get a huge amount of mana. So we've actually got a few infinite combos in this deck, whether it's between Staff of Domination and a million different mana dorks that produce a million mana, or we've got also one here with Dionys, where you bounce Dionys back to your hand with the Teema Sabertooth, I think it is. And then, yeah. The cool thing about Thunderhawk Gunship is, and I think I'll include this in nearly every vehicle deck, is it gives all attacking creatures flying, not even just attacking vehicles, not attacking non-vehicles, whatever. Every vehicle will have flying. Every, you know, creature that attacks has flying. You just got to finish people off with that. So as for our actual creatures, we've got, you know, just elves, right? Like elves. So we've got the Copperhorn Scout, which I think is amazing to make it so we can untap everything. So now you can tap everything down, gain mana, or crew vehicles, and then they untap. Then you attack with them, and they're tapped again, and then they untap again, thanks to Copperhorn Scout. So now you've just got constant defenders. We've got Elvish Archivist here to just get +1s onto itself. What is it onto itself? Yeah, +1s onto itself, so 2 +1s onto itself. A million different like mana dorks that are going to produce a heap of mana, especially because, you know, Dionys is going to untap them. Then we've got a couple mounts in here as well. So Drover Grizzly and Ordinary Tumblewag, because it's going to double the amount of +1s on a target creature. That's going to be useful. And as I said about Teema Sabertooth, you can use this to bounce Dionys back to your hand and then put him back out, get a whole bunch of mana. Now, bounce Dionys back to your hand, play him again. Do that. Infinite green mana, infinite ETBs, and that's great because, you know, you get the procs off of, say, this Huntmaster, or, you know, the Beast Whisperer here, or whatever. Things that are, when enters, you're going to get a whole bunch of procs from, I keep saying procs, a whole bunch of triggers from them. Our enchantments, not all that many, just stuff to do with our +1s. We can also sack stuff. So if we've got like bigger tokens, we can sacrifice those tokens if we want to just draw cards, or, you know, sack an elf that we're not going to be using. And then we've got like, Evolution Witness here to be able to return it from the graveyard back into your hand as well. So, you know, you can get rid of something that's about to die, draw some cards, and then bring it back with the Evolution Witness anyway. Our instants, just some protection-y kind of stuff here, some ways to make some elf tokens too, and then some draw in here as well. Beast Within, so for some removal, and then Collective Resistance for removal. Lands, just forest. Like, I don't need anything else besides forest. We only have 34 lands in here. That should be fine. I don't see any reason why that won't be fine, given the fact that we've got a million different mana dorks. And that's what we want to use for mana, is our mana dorks more than our lands. And then our sorceries, we've got a couple ways to make some elves. So Elvish Promenade here. And then, no, just one way to make an Elvish Promenade. We've got Overwhelming Stampede as a big finisher. Genesis Wave as kind of a big finisher, because you can use it to reveal a whole bunch of cards, put out a whole bunch of creatures and a whole bunch of vehicles as well. Azuri's Predation, board wipe, the only board wipe we really have access to. Rishtar's Expertise for some card draw, and then Coordinated Clobbering for a final removal thing there. So yeah, this deck is basically going to be played around having a whole bunch of elves out, using those elves to crew vehicles, and then thanks to Dionys, be able to untap those elves and then attack with those as well. So it's a very combat focused deck. As I said before, there is a couple combos in here. So if we go over here to combos, thanks to Architect, and look at the included ones, we're going to have Dionys and Teema. As I said, that combos because you tap down your elves, then they untap, and then you use the Teema Sabertooth to bounce Dionys back to your hand, and then play him again, and then repeat it. You're going to get infinite, so much stuff. As well as, I forgot about the infinite +1 counters on your elves as well. You know, Staff of Domination and Gear Sage, Staff of Domination and Priest are Titania, Staff of Domination, and a ham sandwich. A whole bunch of ways to be able to just make a huge amount of mana, and then a bunch of card draw in here as well, thanks to like Beast Whisperer and stuff, to be able to make sure that you are able to get more cards and refill your hand after you kind of, you know, spend all those cards and kind of run out of cards, which is going to happen. It will happen because of the fact that you will just have so much mana to play with. I honestly am not sure if this is going to be better than a pure Elves focused one, where you're just going pure Elves and throwing all the Elves at them. But I don't know, maybe I've got a thing for vehicle decks, or maybe I've just got a thing for picturing Dionysus chucking on that freaking brick on the accelerator and sending a Brotherhood vertibird. Wait, there's no accelerator on a plane, but you get what I mean. Did I include it? Yeah, the luxurious locomotive as well is amazing, because you're going to create a treasure for each creature that crewed it, so you can overcrew. That's one thing to kind of keep in mind with vehicles, is that you can overcrew them. Just because it says crew 1 does not mean that you can only crew it with things with 1 power, or, you know, 1 creature or anything. You can crew it like this. If you had 20 creatures out, you could crew it with all those 20 creatures. They will all get tapped, then they will all untap thanks to Dionysus, get the +1s, and then you can attack with the luxurious locomotive. Boom, now you've created 20 treasure tokens, and you could attack with any of those creatures that you crewed it with as well. It's absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. This is, as I said, probably one of my more unhinged builds, but I don't know. I love vehicles, man. I love vehicles. I hope you guys had a great day, and goodbye.